So, yep, as I was talking today, so there is a very popular thing going on in this self improvement, this self improvement area, that high testosterone levels, and they are just making a bull crap out of it. I don't know why. So, can't really say them anything because targeting them only will only get me hit, and I don't care if I get or not. I just don't care about all these things. So the in the self improvement era of the in area, there's a lot of talking about the high testosterone levels and how do they work. And probably it will be right for me to say that the high testosterone is something that doesn't really have such high efficiency things. So before understanding the high testosterone, we should understand what is testosterone and how does it work. So testosterone, first of all, is a kind of a steroid are just some kind of sex hormones that male or female have. So in steroids, they not that gym steroid, in order to gain muscle. That is also the same thing, but we are not going to consider it into the fact. We are going to they are basically like testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, and then the estrogen, progesterone, and all. So the first of all, we have to understand. Now we have understood what is testosterone. It is a male sex hormone, and it helps in the infertility of the person, in the sperm production, and also in the muscle gains, and strength of the person, and their libidos, of course. So as we are understanding right now, we should now, I think, come to the functioning of the testosterone. How does they work? So I will show you a little figure over here. I know it is not very good, but please bear it with me. So this is like a not the actual thing, but it is some sort of a structure called hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is king like a king of all hormone parts. Like, it regulates what should be done to the hormone secretion and what not. So it tells all the hormone releasing area when to release hormone and when to not. So it is kind of like the king of them all, which tells them when to do and when to not do. And then the hypothalamus releases an hormone. I know biology is quite complex, so kindly bear it. So hypothalamus releases an hormone which goes to pituitary gland, and that hormone stimulates, or you can say orders, I would say orders, in order to keep it a little simple, the pituitary gland to resin to release some another kind of hormones like FH and LSH, if I am right. And those kind of hormones then go to the testis, and the testis, or maybe ovaries, in order to release the we are going to talk about it as a man's perspective, not as a female perspective. So I will say that the pituitary will now release FSH and LH, which will now go to the testis, and when it will go to the testis, it will release the testosterone. So now that when the testosterone is released, it mainly gets separated into three kinds. Of course, testosterone is not like a single kind of an entity. It is like there are like three kinds of testosterone, and they are being separated on the basis of what kind of thing they get associated with. So the first kind of testosterone is an SHBG kind of testosterone. The SHBG really means is a sex hormone binding globulin. So it really means that it is a sex hormone globulin, a globulin which has been released by a seminiferal tubule, and it really is like responsible for the sex drives and fertility of a man. So it really makes up like 80 or 70% of the testosterone, and it is not really the one of the most useful testosterone for the muscle gains. And then there is another one which is like ALB, and I don't know what percentage it is, but it is made of albumin, something like this. And albumin is a kind of largest found protein in our body, which is being secreted by the liver. And this protein is mainly responsible for carrying enzymes and things like that. So of course testosterone is also being carried by him. So it makes a bind with the testosterone, and then at the last 1 to 3% there are like free testosterones. So these kind of testosterones are like in very small amount, like they are being measured in nanogram per liter. So if you don't know nanogram, I think it is like 10 to the power minus 9 or something like that, all right. So it is a really 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 very small amount, but it really affects a lot of our muscle growth and all things, and it is a really crucial thing in our body. So first of all, as we are talking right now, like when the so we will go back on the functioning of the testosterone. So when the testosterone got out of the testis, so it gets also divided. It is not just the testosterone is like divided in these three things. The whole testosterone thing also get divided, as get what can I say, produced into some different thing. Like there are some things like DHT, the dihydrotestosterone, which I don't really have much knowledge about what it does, but I I kind of know if it gets too much, if you get too much of it, you will start having a hair fall or something. So DHT really, affects the hair falling effect or something. So the testosterone, because of some, kind of a 5 alpha reaction or something like that, I don't remember it quite nicely. It it started being developed into a DHT. So DHT is like not all the testosterone, like only a few percentage of it, but it depends, varies on person to person, and a little amount of it, the testosterone, goes through some procedure and gets converted into estrogen. Now many of you might be freaking out because you may think that estrogen is a bad hormone for men. Of course I wouldn't say it is a bad hormone if you have it in a very balanced way. Like if you have like a drop of estrogen in you and 100 drops of testosterone, so it doesn't really make any sense in order to cry over having a little estrogen, because even estrogens are quite important for humans in order to some some various kinds of function. Even I don't recall it right now, but you can of course go on the internet and can see the uses of estrogen in a man. Of course I don't recommend to have a high estrogen level or something, because that can cause hypo some there is something called hypogonadism or something like that. All right, if that happens in male and females, if the female get a high testosterone level, it gets like a polycystic ovary, POVC or POVS or some PO no yep something PCOS or something like that. All right, and that testosterone level gets too high, so there should be like a certain kind of ratio between these. Like if the estrogen is this level, the testosterone should be this much or something. Like there should be a clear difference in both of them in order to have a very healthy life. And the fact of saying to have high testosterone doesn't really make any sense. Now you may be thinking, why do I have to say like that thing? So first of all, do we why do we want to have a high testosterone? And in order to get high testosterone, I believe you will have to go on some stimulants or something, some unnatural stimulants. But really, it it really affects the testosterone. And many people in the self improvement journey will tell you that they have some 1200 nanograms per deciliter kind of testosterone and something. But you have to be cautious about it, because you don't really know whether it is true or not. And even if it is true, the testosterone level decreases as they age. So maybe they are very young YouTubers or something, or maybe even they are faking it because it is social media. You cannot trust anybody too much. And the third thing is that the level of testosterone even rises and falls from the day and night. So you should be very cautious about it, whether the testosterone whether when the testosterone test has been gotten, because even the whole circadian rhythm affects the production of testosterone. And yep, So do I mean should you have a low testosterone? No. I simply want to tell you that you should only have a good ratio in both of them, because it is very rare to have a low testosterone level, at least per the the new medical conditions. And when you will go to these self improvement youtubers, they will tell you like your grandfather, your ancestors who are like having 5,000 nanogram per deciliter or something. But do they really? Because I don't think before there was some kind of measuring, something to measure those testosterone levels. So how are you able to believe them just because they are saying so? Or is there some study regarding it? What's the source behind it? Because you don't know how did their genetics played with testosterone, and how does your are. First of all, it is just the genetics thing, so you don't have to take it too much seriously. Of course, I don't mean you to have a very haphazard diet just because it doesn't. I am saying you to not maintain the testosterone level or something. I'm just saying you to have that, a certain kind of gap between those two, and not, and get, and just, if you can just rid of your obese, and get a proper amount of morning sunlights, and just eat clean. So I think that is all enough. You don't have to go on a steroid, or something like nowadays I see many self improvement youtubers making very different kind of videos, like how to improve your testosterone level, like do this, do this, do that. And of course, if you are talking about testosterone level, I would say avoid plastic at all, because it is like not really good for your health, and also for your testosterone. So if you can avoid the plastic, if you can avoid this thing, and after that, if you are like really concerned about the testosterone levels of your, it is not really something to be really concerned about. If you are not above 1,000 or something, you don't really have to be, unless cause it really will demotivate you in a long run. Rather, you should see whether you are being productive at the level of testosterone you have, cause what really matters is whether you are able to use the current level you are at right now, because that is what truly matters. Are you able to perform best at that status of your testosterone? It doesn't matter if you are having 5,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone and you are not able to perform good. It doesn't matter. So what matters is to have that golden number. I will say it like a golden number of amount. And of course, it is not something like to mix in, like mixing some sugar in a water. So it is like something, it will regulate it by itself. And don't take any steroids or something in order to increase your testosterone. I won't recommend them at all. And yes, that was all the point of this video, to make you understand that how this high testosterone thing is just really a bubble kind of thing going inside the internet right now. You have to just do simple things like getting morning sunlight, eating clean, in not eating this outside kind of food, avoiding using the eating in those or preparing the food in plastic things, and just the basic thing. Now if you want to go advanced, like eat sattvic, and there are many things. All right, I won't go into it, because or else it will become a very sentimental or religious video for some people, and they will be like, I am sharing my own biases with you. So I won't be right now going into that, but you can always consult to your religion, as per they say it is so called right to live. And so in my religion, the Hindu dharma, they say that you should eat sattvic food, and it is like the really, like the pure food or something. And not, I will not say pure, but it is the appropriate kind of food that humans should eat, like the Ayurveda says this and all. So yep. But and that doesn't mean I am recommending it to you, and that also doesn't mean I am not recommending it to you. But it's just your choice. Choose it for yourself. And if you are of some different religion and they say some different thing, I don't care. You care it for yourself. You pick your own choice. It was just I was trying to tell you why You should not get into this, haphazard of the high testosterone, and just try to maintain a good balanced life. Not, I will not say balanced life, but healthy life, if that is the word. And yep, that was all for today's video. Thank you for watching.